rib cage, right? So rib cage protects our heart and lungs. Okay. So the rib cage comprises of 24 bones. Fine. 12 is at one side and 12 is on the other side. Right. And the last two ribs are called as a floating ribs. Okay. Why we call it as floating ribs? Because these two ribs, last two ribs, are not connected to the sternum, as you see here in the skeletal system. Okay, these are the pair of last two ribs that are not connected to the sternum, and that's why we call it as a floating ribs. Okay, and after this rib cage, we have a one more very important part, that is the vertebral column. This is called the vertebral column. Fine. So this vertebral column, as you see that now our skeleton is able to be sit like this. Okay, right? So due to these vertebral column, we are able to sit, we are able to walk, we are able to move. Fine. So these are the small wing-like bones, and these are 33 in number. Okay, how many vertebral columns are there? Vertebral 33. Okay, so these are the small ring-like bones, as you see here in the skeleton. Fine. Okay, so what the main function of this vertebral column? As you see here, that one thread-like structure is passing from this vertebral column. It is the hollow from inside. Okay, so one thread-like structure is passing from this, that enable us to make this sit, or that thread-like structures move from here, from brain to the whole lower body. Okay, that is called spinal cord. That thread-like structure that you see here in the skeletal system, actually that is the bunch of nerves. Okay, that is the bunch or a bundle of nerves that passes from the brain to this vertebral column and carrying the messages from brain to the whole lower body. Okay, हमारी lower body यानी brain से सारे messages को that bundle of nerves can carry to whole lower body parts. Okay, so that bunch of nerves is called spinal cord. Okay, spinal cord. So what is the main function of this vertebral column now? It can protect the spinal cord. ये हमारी जैसे rest आते हैं other parts में study किया कि that skull protects the brain, rib cage protects the heart and lung. So this spinal cord protects. Yes, this vertebral column protects spinal cord. Fine. So this is the function of this vertebral column. As you see, the last vertebral parts means these are fused. Okay, so this is the tailbone and it is now fused because we are not having the tails now, so it is be now fused. Okay, clear? After that you can see these limbs. So limbs are the legs and the arms of our body. Okay, right? Legs are called the hind limb and arms are called the forelimb. Okay, so you see this, it attached from here and our limbs are having bones. This is called humerus. What we call this long bone? Humerus. And what we call these two? Luminous. Yes? This is the humerus, this is ulna radii. Okay, ulna radii. Fine. Humerus, ulna radii. Okay, so these are called the hand bones, or the fingers will call it as phalanges. In fingers को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Phalanges. If these fingers are of hand, then it is be called as carpals and metacarpals. Fine. If it is of foot, then it is be called as tarsals and metatarsals. Okay, right? Now it's a turn of hind limb. Hind limb means legs. Let's again having the three major bones. This is the longest bone of our body. What's the name of this bone? No, that is femur. Okay, femur is the longest bone of our body. Okay, हमारी body की सबसे जो longest bone है वो कौन सी है? हमारी thigh bone. Thigh bone means this bone, and the name of this bone is femur. Okay, and lower leg is again having the two bones. One is called tibia and femora. Okay, one is called the tibia and femora. Okay, again the leg is, how many bones are there? Three long bones are there. This is the longest bone of our body. This is called femur, and again the lower leg is having the two main bones, tibia and femora. Okay, and again our foot is having the fingers, that is called tarsals and metatarsals. Okay, small bones and the long bones are there in the foot, that is called tarsals and metatarsals, and in commonly we call it as flinches. Either that is of the hands, our fingers of our hands, or either that the fingers of our foot. But usually you call it in common English toe, right? अपने foot की fingers को क्या बोलते हैं? Toe, right? So that's why we call it as tarsals and metatarsals, and the hand fingers is called carpals and metacarpals. Okay, except this, our body is having joints. Okay, so joints also help a lot to us for doing the movement of our body. So in our next lecture we will going to study about the joints of our body.